In the year 1990, a game called Journey to Silius was developed and published by the company called Sunsoft for the Nintendo Entertainment System, also known as Rough World or Rafu Warudu in Japan. It was a side-scrolling run-and-gun video game that was originally based on the 1984 film The Terminator, but unfortunately the licensing rights for the film were lost during development. The graphics and storyline were altered to accommodate this change. In the year 0373 of the new space age calendar, overpopulation of Earth has led to an increased demand of immigration to space colonies. The player takes control of the character named Jay McCrae, the son of a scientist responsible for development of the space colony 428 in the Silius solar system. Jay's preparing to move there in order to follow in his father's footsteps. However, the space station is obliterated in an explosion, killing the entire research team and destroying all data on board. Jay discovers a floppy disk containing not only the complete Silius solar system colony plans, but a personal message from his father, asking Jay to complete his project should terrorists succeed in destroying the space colony. To protect the colony plans and avenge his father's death, Jay sets out to fight the terrorists responsible for the space colony's destruction. And oh man, this game is fucking awesome. The game controls are very standard. You have jump, you have duck, and you have shoot. The one downside is you can't shoot in any direction you want, you can only shoot left or right. If we look up in the top left corner, we'll see a red power bar, which is the player's HP. Right below that is the blue G bar, which is your gun's ammo. The only gun that has infinite ammo is the main handgun that you get when you start the game. For the other 5 guns, you'll receive those at the end of each level by fighting a mini-boss before the main boss, which means that there's only 6 stages in total. The stage 1 boss is the helicopter. For phase 1, you have to destroy 3 robots that he drops. Phase 2, the helicopter will go off screen and then re-enter lower so you can shoot it. Throughout the entire game, there's only 2 kinds of power-ups that you can pick up, blue ones being energy for your guns or ammo, and red ones being for your health. I've noticed that the blue ones drop a lot more commonly than the red ones, which kinda sucks because you're going to be taking a lot of damage throughout these levels, and having the red ones would be a lot more helpful than having ammo, because your standard handgun doesn't run out of ammo, and I'm not going to be using special weapons on just normal enemies. For the stage 2 mini-boss, he's going to drop the homing missile weapon. This will come in handy for the main boss of the level, the war vehicle robot, as you have to jump multiple times in order to hit the sweet spot, but with the homing rockets it's very easy because they just lock onto it. Stage 3 is what I like to call the laboratory. I don't know if that's actually what it's called, but that's what I'm calling it. Every stage has a different roster of enemies, which is kind of nice because the gameplay itself is a little bit monotonous at times, mainly because there's only one way to traverse through the level. It's a very linear game, you're not going to get lost at all. The stage 3 mini-boss resembles Ed 209 from RoboCop, which I thought was pretty funny. He drops the weapon, the laser rifle. The final boss for stage 3 is called the Troop of Cannons, for obvious reasons. This one's pretty simple, you just gotta learn the pattern of the cannon shots. Just duck and jump accordingly, you'll get it pretty quickly, and shoot the sweet spot until it's dead. I like to use the laser for this one. For stage 4, I'm not exactly sure where we are, but can we take a second to appreciate how fucking awesome this soundtrack is? God damn, that is awesome music. Some of the best I've heard on the NES, which is rightfully so, because the person who composed this soundtrack was none other than Naoki Kodaka. If you played other Sunsoft titles such as Batman the Video Game, Blaster Master, Fester's Quest, you've probably heard his music. Kodaka really hit the nail on the head with this one. It complements the graphics and sets a tone for this game that makes you feel like you're on a real sci-fi adventure. The mini-boss for this stage has 2 phases. First you have to kill the chest, and then the head, which will drop the grenade launcher weapon. The main boss for this stage is called Mammoth Cannon, and it's by far the coolest looking boss in the game. It has a biomechanical body horror kind of feel, something that you would see out of like Contra, which is a good thing. Anyway, this boss is pretty simple, just jump over his blast and shoot him in the eye when he exposes it. And he dead. Level 5 is definitely the most difficult out of all the levels, which it should be because it's technically the final stage. It moves left constantly, making you run forward, hoping not to get crushed by the screen. And I know I said that there's 6 stages in total, but you'll see what I mean in a minute. The first boss in this stage is called Giant Exodus Airship. Jesus. What you have to do in order to kill this boss is destroy both ends of the ship. Once you finish the first side, you're going to move on to the second, trying not to get hit by these boosters. Destroy the second one, and that's it, you killed this one. And now we're at the final boss of the stage, called Android, or Human Metallic Skeleton, in parentheses for some reason. And really, there's not much to this boss fight. It's a little bit disappointing, but all he does is just walk towards you, bend over, and throw punches like a fucking caveman. Just wait till he gets close and bends down and jump over him. He won't even be able to hit you if you're good enough. Anyway, rinse and repeat, and before you know it, he dead. And that's the end of the game. There's no real story closure, it just kind of ends and cuts to the credits, which is a little bit disappointing, but the overall game is really fun. If you can find yourself a copy of this game, I highly recommend picking it up. It's definitely one that's worth having in your collection. There's only one negative I have about this game, and that it's way too short. You can beat it in about an hour. Aside from that, I never really heard anyone talk about this game before, and it always made me wonder why, because it's a real gem on the NES. And that's gonna be all for Journey to Silius. Thanks for watching.
Hey, one person that stayed till the end of the video, thanks for watching, you're awesome. If you like this video, check out some of these over here, because you might like those as well. And hit the like and subscribe button and the bell icon so you're always notified whenever I upload a video. Thanks again for watching, and stay nostalgic. I'll see you next time in the Nerd Lair.